Sylvia Plath was born on October 27, 1932, right when the country was suffering from the Depression. 13 million Americans were unemployed. Tens of thousands loaded up all their belongings, migrating from place to place looking for work. President Franklin Roosevelt was just elected president. As a young child, Plath lived through World War II and experienced life on the home front. World War II had great effect on her writing, and some of her poems were about wartime propaganda. The wartime had a strong impact on her writing because on the home front, women entered the workforce during the perilous years of war, but soon were forced back into the subordinate role of the housewife. The 50s were a confusing time period for Plath because women were supposed to meet high expectations of beauty standards and being the perfect housewife and mother. Plath said she did not want to fit a role or would not change for marriage and wanted to go on living as an intelligent, mature human being. Means of psychiatric care came about during the time of Plath's life, and she herself was admitted into it, which greatly impacted her writing as she had endured electric shock therapy. Overall, Plath lived through challenging times. She did not want to succumb to the cookie-cutter molds of the 1950s housewife and struggled with that greatly, as it was expected of women during her time. Much of her writing is based on this, and she is known for challenging gender roles through her work in her time.
Sylvia Plath was born on October 27, 1932, in the town Boston, Massachusetts. Her skills in writing prevailed at an early age through the things she wrote in her diary. Some were even published. When her works got published and were discovered, she earned a scholarship to Smith College. As Plath was becoming more famous, she started working as an editor at a popular magazine called Mademoiselle. Later in life, Plath was smitten by the famous poet Ted Hughes and married him. Together they had 2 children, a girl named Frida and a boy named Nicholas. As a couple, Hughes and Plath did not get along well, and were constantly fighting, which causes them to grow apart, and Hughes left her for another woman. Plath became miserable and depressed after Hughes left her for Asia Weber. That resulted in Plath creating her most famous poems. She wrote a novel called The Bell Jar, and some of her poems were published after she committed suicide. Plath's struggle with depression got very intense, and she decided to end her life in a gruesome way at the age of 30. Sylvia Plath's writing style is based off of her mental struggle, unstable marriage with Ted Hughes, problems with her parents, challenging women's role in society in the 50s, and the way she views herself.
The poem Mirror by Sylvia Plath is about a girl who cared deeply about her physical appearance but now regrets how it hurt her and how she wasted that time being so preoccupied with her looks. It focuses on the ongoing problem of feeling isolated or lost and not accepting who you are. It shows the regret that follows this and the time that was wasted worrying about things that don't matter. It shows this message by using repetition with I and using self-criticism. She uses language that portrays dislike. The girl in the mirror is not happy with what she sees. Plath has words like searching, present in this poem to show that she doesn't know who she is as a person. Plath uses the metaphor, now I am a lake, to represent her trying to find herself by looking at her reflection that resembles a still lake. She is shown to be looking deeply to try to find her true essence of who she is. It also shows that she cares about her appearance and often judges herself in the mirror. There is a shift between the first and second stanza that goes from the mirror's relationship with her to her relationship with the mirror. Time is shown through the poem by using over and over and she comes and goes to try to show time passing and how the past slipped by her without realizing she shouldn't have cared about the things that made her unhappy. In this poem, Plath is challenging the role of beauty in society.
In this poem, Plath uses trees as a metaphor for the role of women. In the 4th and 5th lines, memories growing ring on ring, a series of weddings. This shows that she is beginning to address the role of women in society, which back then was to marry and have children. She addresses the idea that women's role is to produce in society in the lines that say, truer than women, they seed so effortlessly. She references Greek mythology as well to prove the point that women were truly made with the sole purpose to produce, and she is frustrated by this. She uses a literary device of personification to make the trees relatable to the reader when she gives them feet and immerses them waist deep in history. Likewise, she may be using imagery even in the name of the poem by giving the image of winter trees. In winter, trees are bare and vulnerable and waiting for a new to start again. It is possible that she was craving something new and wanted to be someone outside of the five and was.
Sylvia Plath's poem, Lady Lazarus, is about a woman who tried to commit suicide multiple times but never ended in the way she wanted it to. Plath uses connotations, similes, repetition, and metaphors to show how trying to commit suicide can be an obsession to other people, especially Lady Lazarus. In the beginning of the first stanza, she mentions something and keeps referring to it as it, and later on in the poem it can be concluded that she is referring to suicide. Plath says, "And like the cat, I have 9 times to death," representing how she has tried to commit suicide and kept failing.
In the second to last stanza, Plath says, "Hear God, hear Lucifer, beware, beware," implying that eventually she will be acquainted with one or the other. Plath believes that death is like an art, and she says she does it exceptionally well. Plath's poem, Lady Lazarus, describes who she really was because death was exciting to her instead of frightening.